Good evening, folks, or afternoon. What is it? What time is it? It's the afternoon. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to An Hour with Bob. And I got a special guest tonight. In fact, he's been on my show, and I know he's got to know that I was going to mention it. He was getting close to being tied for first place on this show, as far as how many times he's been on the show, because he hasn't been on the show in quite a while. But for a while there, he was a regular. And he still holds the record. Now he's up by 2, I believe. And that's Gene Valicenti is here with us today. I don't know if he's a radio guy, a TV guy, a multiple guy. In fact, I think he's the only guy in the country that does this stuff.
I want to be here with you, but you know, at 6 o'clock, I'm on that side. Patrice is on this side.
That's right, huh?
So I don't usually look this way. But this is opposite.
Do you want to switch?
How many times have I been on your show?
I think 11.
11 times?
I think so.
This goes back to 1992.
1992, when you came to Rhode Island in 1992 from Jersey, right?
Yes. Well, by way of Connecticut.
By way of Connecticut, but you're from Jersey.
Originally.
And I remember you. I saw you on TV one time. We just talked about this off camera. But I saw you, the first time I saw you, was you were doing this thing, an investigative report on restaurants or something, right? And you were
I remember it.
You were just charging in these places, unannounced, right?
It had to be 1992.
It was 92.
The series was called Eat, Drink, and Be Wary.
Yeah, be wary of Gene Valicenti.
Well, that's what it turned out to be.
With the mustache and the trench coat.
I had the mustache and the trench coat, and we were going around finding restaurants that weren't in compliance with the health department rules. And the health department took us around, and we went into a couple, and they were pretty bad.
You sure did.
And you know what? It shook up the whole state because a lot of these restaurants, people knew them. I don't want to mention any names. Some of them might be in business, might be out of business. But we were there, and we did this whole thing, and that was such a popular thing that you picked up on it?
Right
you
away.
You remember that? From almost
that's
30 years ago.
That's how I ended up asking you to come on the show.
Right. I think I haven't been on in a while, but I think the last time I was on, we were at Cello's Waterfront.
Cello's in the waterfront.
You had a nice spot over there, and but I haven't been on in a while. You know why? I'm busy. I do the radio in the morning.
No kidding.
And I do television at night.
And how do you do it?
And my time is very limited in the middle.
What time do you get up to do the radio?
Well, I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do WPRO.
But now you're doing it at home?
Now I do it from home. I can get up a little later, about 5:15.
And do you stay in your undies?
No, I put a jogging suit on,
Pajamas.
just like a jogging suit, so I feel dressed, but not completely dressed. But the radio's been terrific. Radio's been great.
You're number one.
It hit number one, yeah.
What do you mean hit number? You've been number one a while,
It's been number one
I think.
for a while, yes. Yeah. Certain demos, we also hit number one total audience, 6+. And that hasn't happened since Salty Brine was on. Yeah, and it's very unusual for a news and information show to hit number one. Usually music will beat you. You know, music is the tops.
Right.
But in this particular market, on certain months and certain ratings periods, we hit number one. So I'm very proud of that. Got a great staff, couple of producers who work really hard for us.
Well, you know what I notice about your show versus the rest of them?
Yeah.
And not to knock anybody else, but the fact is, you're a personable guy, and you're not out there, even though you started that way, you're not out there jamming people.
No, I want the show to be entertaining.
Right.
And a lot of it is just me talking, and I'm glad that everybody else finds what I find funny, and they like my music, and my take on things. People tune in, and we hit on a formula. You know, we don't do traditional talk radio. I don't sit there for an hour and take calls on a topic.
Right.
And we're not very, very nasty to people. We don't do
that's
that.
Exactly what I'm saying.
We want to have fun. And we just keep it moving, topic to topic to topic. We hit on the formula. It works. Listen, it's one of the highest rated news and information shows in the country.
Really?
Right now. Hit number one. In fact, if you want to self-plug, check out talkers.com.
Talkers.com.
Talkers.com, Talkers.
Right.
That's sort of the Bible for talk radio. It's the national magazine. And they've got a nice article on me this week about what we do, how we do it, and how we hit number one. So,
wow.
Radio's been great. 10 years. 10 years on the radio.
I can't believe that you can do the radio and do TV.
Well, I didn't believe I could do it before I started. I mean, you know, I used to fill in for Marianne Sorrentino.
Yeah, I do remember.
Remember Marianne?
I do.
She would need a day off, and I would go in, and I'd have so much fun doing it. And they got such great response that a while ago, this goes back almost 10 plus years ago, Paul Giammarco, who was the programming director at the time, said, why don't you do a regular show for us? And I said, gee, I don't know. And he said, why don't you start with a Saturday show? And I did a Saturday show. It was very successful.
I
had a
remember
lot
that.
of fun.
Yep.
And then another slot in the morning opened up, and I was able to work it out with Channel 10. so that it could do radio in the morning, TV at night, and everybody's happy.
That's amazing that you could do that
Yeah.
with the TV.
Well, we worked it out. You know, we had to have certain ground rules and parameters, and it's worked out terrific for everybody. You know, in the morning on the radio, I'll often break a story
That they're going to break
that
on
Channel
TV.
10 will pick up and follow up on. That happens a lot.
Oh, yeah?
And then
You mean that you initiate it and then Channel
that I
10
initiate. I may have a guest on the radio who says something.
Right.
We may have Ask the DOT in the morning, and Peter Alvini may break a story with me on the radio. Channel 10 follows up on it later.
Now, you have him on every week.
Every
don't you?
Thursday.
Every Thursday,
Yeah,
right?
Ask
See,
the DOT.
you think I don't listen
Very
to you?
popular segment. Listen,
You think I don't listen to you?
in Rhode Island, people who pay their taxes and behave, what are they interested in? The roads and the registry.
Right. Roads in the registry.
So we do
You
the
ain't fixed the registry, though.
Well, we try. We have Bud Craddock from the registry on once a month.
Right.
So we do roads every week, registry once a month. It's very popular. The phone calls are lit up the entire duration. Yeah, it is.
Who was the head of the DOT before Alvini?
Who was the head of the DOT before Alvini? Boy, that's a good question. Give me a hint.
Well, I'm asking you because whoever it was, I can't remember his name, but he had me be the first person to walk across the highway.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. They were all, it was all ready to go, and they had the cars going to drive across it. And Sunland was the governor, I think, at the time.
Well, no.
No, it wasn't Sunland.
No, it would have been, could have been Chafee, or, yeah, it must have been Chafee,
Must
because
have been
Alvini was brought in with Governor Raimondo, if
Right.
I've got this right. It
Right.
could have been Governor Chafee, or it could have been before Governor Chafee. Could have been Governor Kachiri, I think, when the highway
Maybe,
opened. I'm not
yeah.
really sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I
either.
think Mayor Cicilline was the mayor at the time,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
But I think the DOT director before Peter, if I'm not mistaken, was from Massachusetts. But Peter Alvini came in, and you know, we had a conversation. Why don't you come on the radio? You know, customer service. And
Right.
you know what? He agreed, and he says it's been the best thing for the DOT, and I think it's a very popular segment on the radio.
Well,
you know why?
again-
Because he's responsive.
And you're not jamming them.
No, but you know, he's not afraid to say no. We have people calling in. Do you think you could build an overpass so I can get to the bus stop? And he'll say, no, that's not really in the plans right now. And we move on to the next call.
You must have asked them, who was, I know I always think about it, who the heck ever designed the 95 segment, both north and south, in the Providence area, when you're coming off 146, going south,
Right.
you're going into Providence
Yeah.
on 146, and it dumps you onto 95, and right after you come on, two lanes of 50-mile-an-hour traffic coming into downtown Providence, and right after they come in, there's 4 exits.
You know,
Why wouldn't you put the exit after the entrance?
a good question. We get this all the time.
Are they-
I mean, why is this way? Why was this designed that way? It was poor design.
Terrible
over time.
design.
This all predates Peter, though.
Yeah.
Now he's getting a boatload of money in from the
Yes,
infrastructure
exactly.
bill
$2 billion
that just passed.
or something.
Yeah, close to $2
Or
billion.
part of it, yeah.
And that's going to go a long way
Hopefully.
in correcting the mistakes that have been made, hopefully, and keeping the bridges up and keeping the highways as they should be. I mean, Rhode Island's been working on this for a while with that roadworks under Governor Raimondo.
Yeah.
It was controversial. Don't forget, you know, she put the truck tolls in.
Yes.
She got a lot of pushback on that, but in the end, she prevailed.
Yeah, I'm
Truck
surprised
tolls are
at
up.
that. I'm surprised, aren't you?
Well, you know, I think there are a lot of hands in that pie. I think that idea didn't just spring up in a light bulb moment with Governor Raimondo or
Right.
anybody else. That goes to a lot of powerful people in Washington.
Oh, wait a minute, the way you said it, a lot of hands in that pie.
Well, I think there
thought
are
you
a
meant
lot of think tanks, a lot of people who had this idea for truck tolls.
Right.
And Rhode Island got them as the test phase.
So you're saying that it's going to happen all over the country?
Well, I think you're going to see more than less. How about that?
Wow.
If it works here, Connecticut tried already.
Yep.
Connecticut tried to get truck tolls.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it past the legislature. But you watch and see how successful other states are going to be in getting this.
Well, you know Massachusetts is in. They're all in for that.
Well, they'd be in for that too.
Yeah,
you know.
they love tolls,
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
But that was controversial. That part of roadworks was
Oh,
controversial.
no doubt,
Now
no doubt.
now we're getting $2 billion in, and I would suspect somebody to ask, can we get rid of the truck tolls with those $2 billion?
Yes.
So maybe I'll save that for Peter on Thursday. I'll ask him that.
Why not? Why not? Well, listen, you know who I got here tonight?
I know these guys.
You know them, right?
I do.
Didn't you just see them recently?
I was in the East Greenwich Hotel,
Is that a great place or
which
what?
is a hot spot now. And these guys were playing, and I had my wife and 2 friends. We said, let's go there and listen to some music. It happened to be the guys you have tonight were playing,
Really?
and they were terrific. I want to hear them, father and son.
Father and son. That's
Yeah.
Jack and Jesse right there.
You guys were great that night.
Thank you. What a small world, huh?
It was only a couple of weeks ago.
That's Rhode Island.
Yeah, that is Rhode Island.
for you.
Yeah.
That's Rhode Island. What do you got for us, guys?
So we have like 6 albums. As you know, we've been on your show quite a bit.
Yeah, they're pretty
Time
close
with
to
this
you.
guy. How many times we've been on this show?
I think since you were about 16 was
I
probably the
said,
first
I
time.
thought 15.
15, yeah.
I thought
15,
15.
Right, actually.
First time you were on the show.
About half my life now, I guess.
Is that right? Wow. So you've been on here, what, 7 or 8 times, I guess, right?
Yeah, you've been such a great supporter of us. We love seeing you.
Well, I love support. You know, that's the reason I started the show in the first place, was to support local talent, be it musical talent, artists, authors, whatever, actors, anything to do with Rhode Island. That's how I started the show, because I was, I was in a couple movies local that were filmed in Rhode Island. Well, one was filmed in Rhode Island, the other was filmed in Massachusetts. Everybody knows Meet Joe Black. When
Yeah,
that was
Meet Joe
filmed
Black
there.
in Warwick.
But then I was
Yeah.
in a Civil Action with John Travolta, which was filmed in Massachusetts.
Okay.
But then I didn't do it anymore. But there've been, just this year, there's been 3 or 4 movies in Rhode Island, right?
We've got Hocus Pocus is shooting now in Newport and then the other locations. in
Yeah,
Rhode
they
Island.
still doing it?
Yeah,
I didn't know,
and
I thought
Chad-
they were done by now.
Chad Birdie's doing a
Birdie,
few
yeah.
different ones with Megan Fox too. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Now these guys, I did see them a couple of weeks ago in East Greenwich. You did La Bamba, I know that. You
try to
did.
mix it up.
You did 500 miles, I think. Am I right about that?
500 miles.
Because there was a conga line going through the place.
Yeah, oh, yeah?
It's a tradition with us.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah, but it was kind of hard to squeeze through because that place was jamming.
Yeah. I love the bar. It's a beautiful bar they have there. Beautiful.
This is the old Greenwich Hotel.
Old bar, yes. Old bar, old beautiful bar they have there.
Nice place.
Joanne's
What are
place.
you guys going to do?
We're gonna do
Do La
one of
Bamba.
the new one. It's
The new one?
Quitos, because the last time
You gotta
we were on
promote,
your show
gotta promote the album.
was actually 2 years ago, and when we had just come back from our tour in Finland. Remember we talked about
That's
that?
right. They went to Finland. They did a tour in Finland. I
Wow.
like that one.
Nice.
So,
And
I wrote
we
a
had
song
something-
and a new record about it, and
We
Should we
talked
do
about
it?
Finland because I've been to Finland.
You've been all over the place.
Quitos means thank you in Finnish. Remember that? Quitos.
Quitos.
So here we go.
All right,
This is
good, do it.
Quitos.
That's yours.
Stepping into a brand new place, excitement flashed across my face. Bringing music to the world is why we're here. I don't know what's in store for us. Confusion fills the two of us. Singing here for you just makes it clear. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. Music here is music there. Touched by love everywhere. Now we're coming right back home to you. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. There's nothing we can't do when music and dreams still guide you. Knowing the angels are watching, there's nothing we can't do. Because this has been a year that's full of my first. Preparing for the big E we rehearsed. Checking off things from my bucket list. Throwing out the paw socks, first pitch. Driving up to Maine, my first time there. We hop on a plane, we fly in thin air. I'm so blessed, my life is a show. All I gotta say is, Quitos. Come on, play that. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't stop, you know you want more. Hey, 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 hey. Time to do what I came here for. Just can't
what I
they
got.
say in the
Look
stores.
what
when
I
you-
got. What?
When you walk into the stores, remember they used to just say, "Hey." That's
Hey.
how they greet you in Finland.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Did
Did
you-
you notice this? Did you notice the sales tax in Finland? It's like 20%.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Was that the VAT tax? Value added tax.
It's
The,
a-
the VAT on top of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Happiest people in the world.
Yeah, well, it's
Can you
socialism.
believe that?
It's a social. Yeah, exactly.
You
But-
guys are good. Did you do that when I was there a couple of weeks ago? Did you play that one?
did,
You
yeah.
did that, huh?
Yeah.
And then you did a bunch of Beatles stuff too.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
did.
try to
was
mix
good.
it up, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
because
that was
there's
very
people
good.
from 2 to 82 wherever we
Well,
play.
two
so
brothers. They're two brothers. Good
that's what he
harmony.
always gets.
Good harmony for two brothers, right?
Very
It's
good.
that family harmony, like the Everly Brothers.
Like the Everly.
When
Well,
you're
you don't want to be
related,
like
you
the
have that
Everly
same-
brothers. They're 6 feet under. I think both of them are now, right?
Now, do you guys flesh it out with other members, or are you just the two of you and then you pick up other musicians if you need them? Because there were a couple more that night, right?
Yeah, depending on the venue.
You just pick them up?
Yeah,
Oh,
all
no,
of
no,
those
no,
are our
no.
band members.
That's our
Yeah.
band, yeah. Michael DeQuattro on drums and Steve
Steve
Johnson
Johnson.
on bass. Yeah, they're really integral part of what we do.
Right.
They're
Well,
really
Gene, because
great.
Jack's been involved in the music industry for forever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of
it's in my
connections.
studio.
Yep, Lake West Recording is going on 34 years, I think, this year. This January, I'll be at the studio.
Nice. Now, are you Rhode Islanders? Tell me the story.
Yes,
Yeah.
Smithfield. That's where we live now for the
That's
last
where I grew up. Yep.
25 years or so.
Local high school?
Yep.
Yep. And then what?
Then I went to Rhode Island College for just the basic degree. I actually got in geography.
Yeah.
I just wanted
Geography?
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
just wanted a
better
bachelor's
than
degree.
political science.
My
I took
degree's in,
political
Wait,
science.
what's the smallest state?
But no, I mean, I've learned, because I knew what I wanted,
Yeah.
which was just to perform, and we've been performing forever. I mean, you mentioned the Greenwich Hotel when it was just that first half of it with the window where the band was.
Right.
That's where we started. We did like open mics there
Yep.
when I was real little, and then I just kind of got the bug. I started booking my own stuff because he's like, he's been in bands with college guys, and he's like, that's the worst part of the business is booking everything. So he's like, if we're gonna do this together, you're gonna be the booking agent. And
Right.
I just caught on, and now I'm booking myself down in Florida, and we've been all the way up to the Big E, everywhere in between. And
Yeah,
of course,
representing
Finland.
Rhode Island. at the
Represent Rhode Island
Building.
at the Big E again this year
Yeah.
at the
Wow.
Rhode Island building, so that was cool.
So you've been able to make a living out of this.
Yeah,
Like, you keep it going.
yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the business side of show business, right?
Exactly. People don't see that part. They only see the glamorous. What
You've
you
got
saw
to,
there.
Right,
you've got to
right,
collect,
yes.
right? You've got to collect. You know, you got to be paid and keep going. Put the gas in the car.
It's an entrepreneur in a way.
Well,
good
speaking
luck,
of
yeah.
gas is quite expensive. You must be talking about that.
Well, I was
Gotta be
talking about it the other day. Now, gas at the Shell station in East Greenwich was about $3.19.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I have that wrong.
I'm going to show you something.
Gas over by Oakland Beach at the Shell station was $3.19.
Right.
The same night, 9 miles away, in East Greenwich, it was $3.43.
Well, we both know why that is.
Now, how is that possible?
Well, we know why that is.
Because they think there's some more money there, so
Exactly.
they're going to gouge
Go,
you?
go to I live in Pawtucket,
Yeah.
and I'm a shopper. I food shopping, not clothes or whatever, but food shopping. And I'll bet you 95% of the population do not know what that orange label is on every product. You know, it's unit price.
Yeah.
Which is the actual price. Forget about the numbers. The unit price that is
Yep.
the deciding factor on what I buy when I buy it. You know, per gallon, per pound, per whatever. And you go into Stop and Shop in Pawtucket,
Right.
and I lived in East Greenwich for several years. You go and Stop and Shop in East Greenwich, and I'll guarantee the prices are different.
Well, I believe you. Now, you know, I don't pay as close attention as my wife does to gas, but this particular night, I happened to be coming from Apponaug area,
Yep.
Oakland Beach, right? I was coming past that. The Shell station was $3.19, and we kept going, got into East Greenwich, $3.43.
Yep.
That's an expensive 9 miles.
Well, you
Which is
go-
about what it is.
You go in California, I picked this up today. In California, the average price of gas is $4.68.
I believe that.
Now, you figure it'd be lower because they actually have right outside of, right out in the ocean, you can see it from Santa Barbara, which is a beautiful town. They got the platforms right out there. You would figure it'd be cheaper out there.
Well, gases make the taxes make the difference from
Right.
state to state.
Right.
That's why you could go to Connecticut yesterday. I think the BJ's,
higher, right?
BJ's, we paid one price in Rhode Island, stopped in BJ's on the way back in Connecticut, another 20 cents more.
Right.
Now, New Jersey used to have the cheapest prices around. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
In New Jersey, where you could not pump your own gas.
Right.
You still can't pump your own gas
Oh, no?
in New Jersey. You have to have an attendant do it. It's a holdover. They had the cheapest gasoline prices around until...
Even now? No, not now.
Not anymore.
No.
Until Governor Christie. He jacked the gas prices up about 40% 40 cents overnight.
Wow.
And now the gas is more expensive down there than it is in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Now that's a flip-flop, isn't it?
It sure is.
And gas is cheaper here than it is in Connecticut.
But not Mass.
But some people say Massachusetts still beats
Mass
us.
is cheaper.
Yeah, but taxes.
Not much.
It's taxes.
Not
Taxes
much
make a
anymore.
difference. Yeah.
But imagine paying today, it's bad enough paying $3.39 or whatever, but if you
Yeah.
have to use high-test gas in your car, it's another 50 cents a gallon.
Oh, you mean the V-Power? The expensive,
Yeah.
the good stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
Here, that
Yeah.
could be up there. around that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very close to. And you know, in LA gas,
Yeah.
it hit, I was looking at the reporters talking, and you could see the gas sign behind her.
Yeah.
Regular gas, $5.99 a gallon in LA. High test, $6.59 a gallon in LA.
Wow. Well, listen, that can't stand. You know, American people have a very short,
Oh
short
my
fuse when it comes to
God.
that.
Yes.
And people may not be sophisticated politically, and there may be a lot of things they don't really get or glom onto,
Right.
but everybody understands what
When
it
it
costs,
hits you in
what
the
costs at the
pocket,
pump.
it's
Yeah.
always the case in politics. If it hits you in the pocket, you forget Democrat, Republican, and the Democrats are going to pay dearly for that unless something changes in the next 6 months.
Well, not only that, the price of everything is going up.
Oh.
This is a more expensive Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Of food, meat,
Oh, it's crazy.
all kinds of supplies, if you can get it. Not to mention the trouble we're having getting the supply chain up and running. You can't get what you're looking for often. You know, I do a commercial for Pinnacle Discount, the television guys. I don't know if you got this one here. I'll get you a new one.
Yeah.
But, you know, we say, get your television today. I don't know if it's going to be there tomorrow. And
Right.
that's absolutely true.
Right.
If you see something, grab it today, because with the supply chain thing, nobody knows if it's going to be there tomorrow.
I ordered something last week. They said 3 to 5 days, or that's 2 weeks ago. 3 to 5 days. It's been 14.
Well, that's been a selling point for the Cardi brothers. You know, they have a lot of furniture in stock. In stock
Yep.
versus other guys are ordering it. It'll be there in March or April. Your taste will change.
Yeah.
But by the time it comes in.
Well, part of it, obviously, is the pandemic, and I built a shed in the back of my house, and I wanted to match the house, right, the siding. So I ordered the siding in October. I got it in April.
Wow. I was lucky.
And it was American siding. It didn't have to come from out of the country. This was
This is
in the
vinyl?
United States. Yeah.
Vinyl? Yeah. And that took that long to get?
Yep.
Wow.
Because of delivery, because of the pandemic.
I was lucky. We did a deck early on in the pandemic with Trex.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I must
good
have just,
stuff.
I must have just hit it right. The guy could do it. I got the stuff because right after that, everything started to become in short supply, including what I needed.
Well, plywood's crazy.
Plywood.
Plywood went nuts.
Lumber, yeah, in general.
And on top of that, getting somebody to do any work today is
That's another
ridiculous.
problem. Yeah, you're right about that.
I wanted to add a fire system in my apartment house, right? And when we started it in 2010, and then I got in the accident with my knee and ended up having 5 knee operations, 3 replaced knees in the same knee. And so they got stopped, but it was better than halfway done. All the conduit was
Yeah.
put in, all 3 floors, all the apartments, all the rooms, all done. And I got guys coming in, and the prices, you can't even believe the numbers they're coming
No,
at.
I know.
I mean, one guy
One guy
come in-
could be thousands of dollars difference than another guy. It depends on who you get, the time of day.
But
Yeah.
first of all, one guy will say, "Oh yeah, I can get to it 5 or 6 months." Even those guys, but price-wise, they're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they how can they look somebody straight in the eye and say, "Yeah, I'll do this for $100 a man." $100 a man.
Yeah.
And how long is it going to take? Well, it could take a week, could take 2 weeks. $100 a man an hour.
An hour.
And you got to use 3 men. What are we going to run into?
Right,
12,000, 15,000? And then I'm getting numbers. The cheapest number I got was $10,000.
Now, this was your rental property?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you get hit with the rental held in abeyance?
No,
from
I
your
didn't.
tenants?
No, I didn't.
Because that was a problem for a lot of landlords.
Exactly.
They were really complaining.
And I feel bad for that because, and it's sad because I see a lot of people where I live, I live not in a affluent area, and I see these people in the milk store especially, the young guys and young girls, and they got all that free money, right? I don't think, first of all, they were not affected by the pandemic financially, right? They still got their welfare checks. They still got their free medical, right? They still got their free prescriptions.
Well, if you're talking about the needy, nothing changed with that.
Right.
Assistance continued. If you're talking about people who are out of work,
That's what I was getting
That's
to.
different.
That's what I
That's
was getting to.
different, yeah.
Those people got screwed, I think. They didn't get enough. Instead of giving something more, instead of giving half the money to people that were already set, why didn't you give a little more to the people that were out of work, put out of work?
you know what? We'll put that question in the great book that has to be written about the pandemic. We're going to do a post-mortem on the pandemic, where we'll figure out every move we made, what was a mistake, what went right. I just hope that we're on the tail end of this thing.
And what happened? Remember I know I can't think of the wording, but they always said that you want to help somebody, show them how to fish, and how does that go?
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day.
Right.
Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime.
Right. Well, what are you doing when you're giving these people money to stay home?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are wondering if that's why we're in the situation we are.
Oh, I
We were
believe
very,
so.
very generous with unemployment.
Yes.
At one point, it was $600 extra a week. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
On top of the max of about $700 in Rhode Island. If you looked and extrapolated out, it was almost people making $60,000 on unemployment.
Right.
Which is why a lot of people decided not to come back.
Why work?
Yeah.
Why work?
I mean, again, these are legitimate questions. We find ourselves with high inflation now, the highest inflation we've had in 30 years. And some analysts just say because you gave away too much money.
That's right.
Money you didn't
I'm
have,
not
you
an
printed
analyst,
it,
but I knew
you
that.
gave it away.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
This goes to buying power.
I see these young guys, healthy guys, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, in the milk store with that card, the welfare, the free card, I call it, right? And they're buying all junk food, and then they're buying the stuff they stuff the pot into,
Yeah.
the different flavors.
Well, now listen, I don't want you to get canceled.
Well, I ain't going to
So
get
I want
canceled.
you to-
They're
I
going
want
to
you to-
cancel me.
We
They're
don't
going to
know those.
cancel me.
I don't know those individual circumstances or those cases or the store you're talking about. But I do sense your frustration, and you wouldn't be the first person to
And
make those
first of all,
observations.
why ain't they should, if they paid for that, if they worked for that money, they wouldn't be in a store paying $3.75 for a can of tuna fish. They'd be at Stop and Shop or Shaw's Market or a Market Basket buying Dave's.
There is an argument to be made on whether or not the government did the right thing in handing out those generous unemployment benefits. I suppose if you were out of work, you might give the counter argument and said, I needed it. I
Right.
was out.
But I'm
I
not
need
talking
that.
about the people that are out of work. I'm the people that don't work.
Yeah.
That don't
People
do
who
anything.
don't work, have no desire to work, and don't want to come back to work.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Legitimate inquiry.
And I hear them talking in the store. One girl's arguing, not arguing, but bragging to the other one, saying, well, I got $3,800. Well, I have 3 kids from 3 different guys, and none of them are with her. And she's getting, what, $300-400 a kid or $600 a kid or whatever on top of the $1,200 they got or the $1,400 they got. It's amazing to me. That's called buying votes is what that is.
Well, I've heard this before. I have heard this. I don't have an answer for you. But again, when that great book is written about the pandemic, we'll get some answers when we do the
What do you
postmortem
think
on this.
caused the pandemic?
Well, I think most people think it came out of that lab in Wuhan. Whether it was carelessness, I don't think it was deliberate, but it appears to be a careless error in that lab in Wuhan. Most people believe that now.
Now that come out in what, February?
Well, it's been coming out for a while, but
No, not, I mean, when did the pandemic start?
Oh, the pandemic goes back to 2019.
Was it February?
Yeah, it was. I remember I was traveling to Europe in January of 2020, and they're just talking about a flight coming in from China was going to be held at the gate. So this goes back quite a ways. But this talk about coming out of the Wuhan lab has been around for a while, but only just a couple of months ago. The CDC gave credence to that, so did Dr. Fauci, that it looks like it could be.
Do you
That's a
remember?
distinct possibility.
Do you remember when they caught a professor from Harvard a male professor from Harvard and a female professor from either Boston College or Boston U, and they were exchanging something, and she got caught with a satchel in New York, ready to
Well, I
board
know
the plane
that-
back to Wuhan.
Yeah, I do know
That
that.
was in December.
Yeah, a Harvard professor was charged, I believe, with allegedly conspiring with the Chinese. I don't know if it was specifically to do with the viruses or not. You
Yeah,
caught
I
me
believe
off
it
guard.
was.
I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure of that. But you asked me the question, where do I think it came from? I think most Americans now are willing to believe it came from the lab.
Right.
That it might have been careless or, lack of negligence over there. When do we get that answer? When do we
Probably
get that
not in
answer?
our lifetime.
Maybe the president got that answer last night because he had a face-to-face.
Oh, yeah, he did. 3 hours
We're
or
taping
something,
on
right?
Tuesday. He had a face-to-face with his Chinese counterpart last night.
Right,
9
right.
o'clock our time. 9
Yeah.
o'clock at night our time was early in the morning China. So
Yeah.
maybe that came up.
It's a 13-hour difference.
Maybe
I
we'll
think.
find out.
You think? No, I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so. What about the Russians shooting a satellite? What is that all about?
That's a story today. The Russians
What is that
apparently-
all about?
Yeah, the Russians apparently were testing technology. They shot their own satellite
And it blew
to
it
smithereens
into
and blew it into at least 1,500 trackable pieces, big
Right,
pieces,
right.
that are now floating around in orbit and threatening the safety of the International Space Station.
And they say that even if it's a little piece, it is shooting at the speed of 10 times the speed of a bullet. 10 times the speed of a bullet.
Now, did they have those astronauts go into the
Yeah.
emergency chamber?
Yes.
Because you guys may be leaving
Yeah.
faster than you thought.
Who's to say that the emergency chamber wouldn't get hit?
Yeah. No, this story, they're still reporting on this because I was listening just as I was coming in here.
Right.
The Russians blew up one of their own satellites with a missile.
Well, that was a test, right?
Yeah.
That was to
Well, it was
test
pretty
their
good
weapon.
It hit.
Yeah.
It hit.
Yeah, it was testing their weapon.
And now the debris is just floating around in space, threatening other satellites and the International Space Station.
Well, it seems that Trump might have done one thing right. Didn't he just make a new force, the international force?
Under
a
President
space
Trump,
force?
we created Space Force.
Right.
Now, a lot of people snickered at that and were laughing at that, including this current press secretary. Took a couple of jibes at the Space Force. But it turns out that maybe we need the Space Force, and the Space Force may play a critical role, particularly today and this week, with tracking all that debris.
Well, they'll be talking anyway.
Yeah.
Whoever's running that,
Yeah.
they'll be answering questions with the media, right?
The Space Force, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. A topic that I know is near and dear to you,
What's that?
and I heard it on the radio today with Matt Allen. The Columbus statue.
Oh, the Columbus statue. Now, I was in the Columbus Day Parade about a month ago up on Federal Hill. I'm in it every year.
I know. I was there.
And you were there, that's right. You came up on me, you had your camera. And the parade assembles on Harris Avenue, which is one block north of Atwell's.
Right.
It's down by where
Runs
the old,
parallel
where the old
to-
traffic court used to be.
Yeah.
So everybody in the morning goes and assembles on Harris Avenue. And you line up and you get in your car or the bands, put everything together, and then the parade starts. Well, the Columbus statue is in storage, some might say in custody,
Right. Yeah.
in a warehouse on Harris Avenue.
Oh, it's on Harris. Huh?
Yeah, so wasn't that ironic? That while the parade in his name is forming,
Right.
the actual statue of
What?
Columbus can't come out.
They couldn't bring it out for the parade.
No, it's in custody.
They
It's locked up in a room.
Wait a minute. They couldn't put it on a trailer and bring it out.
Well, it's very heavy. I mean, it'd be quite an undertaking to take it away.
You got a half a dozen Italians could have picked that up.
Well, maybe, I didn't think of that. But nonetheless, the Columbus statue that used to be on a pedestal in Providence was lifted off unceremoniously with a crane, and it's in storage on Harris Avenue where the parade assembles every year. Now, the fate of it was just in the news yesterday because there's a commission in Providence, a
Right.
special committee
They haven't decided.
that has to decide whether it wants to sell it or not,
Or destroy it.
or destroy it, or what they want to do with it. Well, yesterday they decided to come back next year.
Right.
We need more time.
Of course, they need a lot of time.
So the statue is valuable. The
yeah,
statue
well, it was made
done-
of bronze, right?
Yeah, and it's done by August Bartholdi, who was the sculptor for the Statue of Liberty. So there's historic value there, as well as controversy.
Yeah, but
You know,
some of these
Italian-
people want to get just cut it up.
Well, you do. You've got some indigenous groups and sympathizers who say Columbus was a bad person and
Right.
responsible for all the ills that we see out your door. Others, including the Italian American community, will say, no, he wasn't, that
Right.
you can't focus on on the negative that someone did. He was a great man of discovery, and you're looking through the telescope the wrong way.
Right. You're looking at one
You're
thing.
looking back the wrong way.
Right. You could say that about any individual.
But the point is, Mayor Elorza yanked him off the pedestal and has him in a closet in a warehouse in Harris Avenue, and that's where he stays. He's not coming out, not coming back, as far as I know.
Wow, that's great. And they were talking about how this group that's against it or
Yeah.
wants to get rid of it is because he killed Native Americans.
Well, listen, you could argue that on both sides. I mean, I always have a guy named Andre Domino on my show. He's with the Italian American One Voice Coalition. And Andre and certain professors at Stanford would argue that this narrative that Columbus killed people or responsible for the deaths is not true. Now, on the other side, there's equally compelling arguments that
Right.
Columbus ushered in an era of illness and violence and death and destruction. So there's an argument to be made. I certainly think, at the very least, that there ought to be room for a summit between Columbus supporters and Columbus detractors to get together and figure this out one way or another. Because I think a lot of people are getting hurt feelings over this whole controversy.
Right, yeah.
Including the Italian-American community, that feels very strongly that Columbus is a symbol of discovery, a symbol of achievement, and that if you take it away,
Right.
you're pitting one group against another. Now, there's a couple of court cases in New Jersey and elsewhere that
Well,
are,
that ain't gonna work in New Jersey. That's the number
well,
one Italian
yeah, I thought
community
in
in the
Philadelphia
country.
it wouldn't work, but he's losing ground in a lot of cities.
Is he, yeah?
But there are a couple of federal court cases that could decide this for us one way or another, and may in fact decide in favor of those who support the statute. They're pending. And again, Andre, the fellow I have on a lot, is watching this closely.
Well, my argument is if they claim that he killed a lot of indigenous people, right,
Responsible for deaths.
responsible for this, what about the U.S. Army? They killed tens of thousands of Indians, didn't
Well, I suppose, listen, this argument could go on forever because we could take the list of explorers who followed Columbus.
Yeah.
And we could go down every single country
And
that
get
had
rid of 'em.
explorers over there, and we could
Right.
point to ills that were done under their watch, and we might not have any monuments here to anyone. And we got a lot of them in Rhode Island.
they? Right.
It's an open question.
But it is, well, the Italians would take it, right, on the hill. They'd put it up
Well,
on the
I'll
hill.
tell you, Mayor Policine in Johnston wants
Right.
it. He said, I'll take it. Mayor Hopkins in Cranston said he'll take it. He has a spot for it. And the Knights of Columbus want it. They said, we have a spot for it. So he has a place to go, provided Mayor Elorza and the commission want to let him go.
What do you think of Mayor Elorza?
Well, Mayor Elorza is a little controversial. He's the bike path mayor. He puts bike paths in. The business community doesn't like them.
Right.
He put bike paths in and ripped them out.
Well, what happened to the one on Memorial Drive
You
there?
mean on South Water Street? there?
Southwood, I'm sorry.
So he won that.
He did.
Yeah, the DOT wanted that taken out, but Elorza prevailed in the end. That bike path is there. He's the bike path mayor. He put giving meters in Kennedy
Yeah, it cost
Plaza,
more to
if you
maintain 'em.
remember.
Cost more to
Crime is
maintain
up
'em.
under his watch. Unfortunately, the pandemic hit. The crime has skyrocketed.
Murders are up.
Murders are up.
They just found another one this
Nordstrom, I
morning.
believe Nordstrom went out on his watch, went out of the mall.
Right.
So, look, there's a lot to criticize Mayor Elorza for. The defund the police argument erupted on his watch.
Right.
He will insist he's not defund the police, that he's reimagining the police.
Reimagine.
Reimagining the police. A lot of people will say it's the same thing, and that he has quite the imagination because he wanted to make the recreation director
Yeah.
a
what happened with
full-fledged
that?
police major.
Yeah. What happened
Well,
with
what happened
that?
was that he was stopped by the Providence City Council. So this idea of making a civilian an immediate police major was
And a
thwarted.
major, too,
Yeah.
not even
Now,
like
in his defense, he will say he held the line on taxes.
Right.
He will say real estate has gone up on his watch.
But it's going up everywhere.
It's true, but he's the mayor, and he will tell you real estate values have gone up. He has held the line on taxes. He's not for defunding the police, but reimagining the police. Well, there's some. Listen, if you look at some things close enough, he'll still tell you if there's a fender bender. Up on Atwell's Avenue, do I need to send a cop, or can I send maybe someone who's less skilled than a police officer to take the report? So there's something there. He will make an argument.
Right.
He'll make his argument to be fair and balanced, which is what you want to do. He'll say, I held the line on taxes. I was tough with the teachers' union when he had to be. Now we lost control of the schools on his watch.
Right.
So, this thing can be debated forever. You asked me what I think of Mayor Elorza. I'll try to give you a fair presentation.
Right, yeah.
He certainly has been controversial.
No doubt.
Yeah. Came on my radio show quite a bit.
Yeah.
He would come on, sit there, take the calls.
Does he still come on?
Hasn't been on in a while. I had him on 10 News Conference a couple of months ago. We'll see if we get him back. But his time is running out.
Right.
And we're interested not so much in Mayor Elorza now. Who's the next person going to be? You've got at least 3 candidates. Brett Smiley, who ran before.
Former Chief of Staff.
Former Chief of Staff, Director of Administration for Governor Raimondo. He's become sort of the centrist in the race compared to some of these other candidates. You've got Nerva LaFortune, Democrat City Councilwoman. Again, pretty far to the left, wants to be the mayor. And you've got Gonzalo Cuervo, who was Angel Tavares' Chief of Staff and was Chief of Staff to Secretary Gorbea.
Oh.
He wants in as a candidate.
Right.
And there could be 3 or 4 others out there in vying, but right now we've got 3 declared. So politics remains interesting in Rhode Island.
Oh, it's going to be very interesting this coming year. The governor's race.
We haven't even touched on the governor's race.
Yeah, and because you got everybody's term limited.
All 4
The
of them.
treasurer, the Secretary of State is term limited.
Attorney General.
Attorney Generals.
Yeah.
Well, he's not running. He's out. Though.
He says he's out. He's not interested.
He was on the show.
Yeah.
In
Very-
fact, he was on here
he's
a
very
month or so.
available. Very available.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah. Peter Nerona will come on when you ask him to, which is unlike the last Attorney General we had.
Well, that was different.
Yeah, couldn't get him on anything.
Yeah, he was different. I knew his father.
Yeah, well, he's a Pawtucket guy.
Yeah, I knew his father. And
Listen, I got along with him. I mean, on occasion, I would interview Peter Camarton. You know, everything, no complaints. The complaint with Peter Camarton was that you just couldn't get him.
Right.
He just wouldn't do an interview. But with Peter Nerone, it's completely different. He comes on, talk to you whatever you want to talk about, ask me anything. And oftentimes he doesn't know what we're going to ask him about.
exactly. Well, you know what he liked? He's the first one that I did this with.
Which is what?
This is my box here. Pull out a question.
Oh, okay. It's just like, all right, okay. Do I shake them up or just pull
No,
anyone?
just grab
Well,
one.
what's the difference? I'll just
What do you
haven't
got?
seen it. Do I ask this of you?
Well, no, we'll see what it is. What is it?
Bank interest on savings, 1 to 2%.
It's not even. It's 0.1%, actually.
Bank credit card interest rate, 23 to 30%. Late charges, $40. Is this in the form of a question, or what do I?
Yeah,
Or is it just a complaint?
I try to tell people, especially young people,
Yeah.
don't ever keep a balance on your check on your credit card ever, because the rates are higher than that. The rates are actually up to 33%, and the lowest rate a kid can get is probably in the 20s, right? Yet if you put money in the bank, you're lucky if you get 1/10 of 1%
True.
interest
Yeah.
on the money. I mean, talk about this is better than. I guess they're getting back for Jesse James and Dillinger and all those guys that robbed
You mean
banks.
these are guys are better than the Shylocks?
Oh,
They're doing much
that's-
better than the
that's
Shylocks.
unbelievable.
Yeah, well, at those rates, they are. You know, I use American Express. You have to pay it off.
Right.
It forces you to pay it off
Right.
and not carry a balance, which has been good for me. But I understand sometimes people haven't got the cash in their pocket.
Well, then don't
They
buy
have
it.
to go. Well, sometimes they need something.
Like what?
Well, maybe they need a sweater or a coat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go to Savers and buy it.
All right, you've got an answer.
Well, I'm not unlike you. I got answers too, you know.
All right. You're showing me that today.
No,
Want to do
really.
another one?
Go for
Another
it.
question here. What's on Bob's mind box here?
Oh,
We talked about Columbus.
here's
That's
the
old
credit
news.
card. Here's the credit card. You see one?
Is that a Rhode Island credit
Yeah,
card?
that's the Rhode Island card.
What is this for?
That's what all these kids have got. That's the free card.
And what is this?
It's a credit. It's like food stamps.
Oh, this is the SNAP. This is the SNAP card?
Like, yes, whatever they
Yeah.
call it, the food stamp card.
Right.
And then, do you know they all got a 25% raise on the food stamps? Who gets a 25% raise?
I wasn't aware of that. Quest. All right, interesting. Give me another.
Go ahead, you only got a couple
any-
more.
any
left.
less
No, you
controversial
got one right
topics
there.
in
You
your
got one
box?
right there, huh? There you go. There's 2 more. Oh, you got 3 more.
By the way, is this band going to play one more song before?
Yeah,
we
they're
go?
going to play right after you're done with this question. How's that?
Illegal ATVs on streets and sidewalks. Yes, big problem under Mayor Elorza.
Under Mayor laws.
Hasn't been
now, that
solved.
doesn't happen anyway. Don't hold that
Oh,
question.
no,
We're gonna save that one.
no, this happens in many American cities.
Does it really?
Absolutely. New York, Jersey City, you'll see that problem, ATV packs all over the place. not just problem. That doesn't diminish it.
Right.
That doesn't mean to say it's not a problem, but this is a problem, perennial problem. In fact, I was in New York City. Not only do they have ATVs running around, they have packs of jet skis in the Hudson River. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No.
Same thing.
No way.
Yes.
Jet skis?
Jet skis.
Yeah, but at least they're not running. Save that one.
All right, I'll save it.
They're not running people down or almost running
Well,
people
no,
down on
but that's
sidewalks.
true. It's a little less dangerous.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I saw a pack of jet skis this summer.
Well, that's interesting.
Just the same kind of
I'd
a
like
thing.
to have a jet ski. If I was in New York, I'd have a jet ski.
Well, it
up and down
might be a good way of transportation.
Exactly.
Yeah, go around the island in a circle.
Yeah, quick to go around Manhattan, right?
You could quickly.
Everybody should have a jet ski down there anyway. Another 20 years it's going to be underwater,
Well,
right?
I guess you're looking at global warming. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it could be.
Miami is.
I'm glad I'm up here on higher ground then.
Yeah, you are. Even though you're on the coast there in East Greenwich. Hold that
I'm
one.
inland,
Let's-
inland.
Let's do a song. You know
Go
what
ahead.
this is? This is Jesse, Liam, Gauthier.
These are patient guys
with
to listen to
Jack,
the two of us talk
with
here.
Jack. Oh, they're having fun
You
too.
guys is very entertaining.
They're having fun.
Especially this guy.
What?
He's always entertaining. He grabs your attention right from the start. Always has.
All right, what do you got for us?
We'll do a lead because it's on the back of your T-shirt.
Oh, that's your, weird. Yeah, okay.
'Cause
Go
like I
ahead.
said, we have 6 CDs of original songs that we wrote together. And
I
also
know. Look at
we love
this.
to
Look at
include
this.
songs
Look at
that
this. Where are we? Where are we? Who
people
we are?
love
There you
as
go.
well.
Look.
So there's cover songs is there with the original, so we can kind of grab you with La Bamba and then throw
Look at
a
that.
song that we wrote together and collaborated with.
I remember this one. Was this your first album or one of the first albums? Oh, no, this has got to be
third,
before
yep.
that. Yeah, this has got to be before that.
There you go, second and then first.
There's first,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yep.
your first album. And there's your second album.
And maybe they'll play the video today. Who knows?
If
we
not-
had a cool
Well, we'll see if we can pull that up. You know
premiere
what?
down in Narragansett this summer. We brought, because we worked with our cousin there from LA. He directed the whole video shot in Rocky Point.
I was
so
just going
it's
to say, you did
beautiful
a
shot.
great job. Great
And
job.
then he brought a whole rig, and we premiered it at the end of our concert down right on the beach there, and it was just an awesome time.
Nice,
so.
nice. Well, when I ever get a whole crew back, because since the pandemic really wiped me out, I lost 2 of my guys went to Channel 12. They got jobs,
Okay.
paid jobs
Yeah,
at Channel
yeah.
12.
Well,
which-
that's good.
Which
Good
shows that,
Good training here.
look, they did well here, right? They worked for nothing, but they learned, right? And learned enough that one of them's the lead photographer for Channel 12. He's got a day job
Oh,
now
good
at
for
Channel
him.
12.
Good for him.
And the other one, I think, works nights
Yeah,
as
we
a
need good
photographer.
photographers.
Yeah.
They're still important, very important.
Yeah,
We're gonna bring back our show too, Bob. Remember we started
that's
with
right.
just
You-
a
they
program.
they started a
Following
show
your
here.
footsteps.
Yep, you encouraged us, Bob. Oh,
Yeah.
listen to you, Bob.
But I got to get a crew back. I need a crew back, folks. You know what I got
What's
to
the
get?
name of our hour we're gonna do, Jesse?
I think it's called Jesse Liam Band Presents Music and Stuff. And we had this whole plan of bringing cooks or any kind of artists on our show and interview them. We had Brendan Kirby from the Road Show. He's a great friend of ours. And then the pandemic hit, and then we haven't been on air. But
They've been playing the.
That
yeah,
was
they
it.
replay it once in a while, and we're excited to come back. And thanks for introducing us back into the local cable scene for having us today. And what do you think, Dad? All right. Go. Swimming through the night of lights, show me around, I'm feeling alive. I'm already high from flying low. Well, meeting you, how could I know? I worked so hard to find your world, and I landed here, my heart's aglow. But all we had was just one night, making dark turn into light. Bright and shiny, never loud, got me floating on 9 clouds. Am I dreaming, am I dreaming? 'Cause I'm locked to your beat, I'm part of your elite. Yeah.
like a diamond in the rough. Yeah, you made me feel I wasn't.
About a month ago, which is
I know.
a couple of weeks ago, not even.
Well,
that
we were
long.
talking about it. We were talking.
Yeah.
They mentioned that they saw you, and I was supposed to be. I understand. Well, I know you.
Well, that was the night of the Italian American
I
Hall
know.
of Fame.
That's exactly what
Mario
I said.
Andretti came in.
I know. I was supposed to be
Yeah.
there.
It was a good night. Joe Rocco.
Joe
put a great
Rocco's a
program
very
together.
good friend of mine. We go. We watch the football games every Sunday.
Mario Andretti came in. He was very nice, personable, and we raised money for. Oh, I'm going to say 10 or 12 people got scholarships that night.
Yep.
So it was a lot of money raised. It was a good time at the East Greenwich Odeum.
I promoted the thing. He
Yeah.
was on the show a month earlier.
That was, you
promoting
said
it.
your boiler broke or your apartment house boiler broke? All right.
One of my tenants' apartments boilers went, and I had to put a new circulator in, and that took a while. I had to get one first of all, and put it in.
This goes back to the supply side issues we were talking about.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, you want me to do one more?
Go ahead.
Now, these aren't questions. These are more Bob's statements of fact. Is that what that's in that box?
That could be. Well, usually I would do it
It
for you.
says,
I would
save
say
on
it to you.
paper towels at a cost of $1. Buy a squeegee.
A squeegee, $1. You go to. We're talking about the shortage of paper goods, right?
Right.
I mean, it sounds like nothing, and like a joke, but think about it. People they get a wet countertop.
Right.
They grab paper towels and they wipe it down, right?
Yep.
For $1, you get a squeegee and you squeegee it right into the sink,
All right.
and you
Yeah.
save on $10 or $15 worth of paper
Well,
towels
you
and
know,
a tree.
in the pandemic, though, people were using paper towels instead of a towel, instead of a cloth towel.
Right.
We did that in our house.
Yeah.
We had paper towels and
Exactly,
napkins and
because
stacking
you
them.
were afraid you didn't. Well,
Yeah, we didn't want people.
know.
We didn't want people sharing a towel.
Right. People
Yes,
didn't know what
particularly.
was going on with that whole thing,
Yeah.
with the pandemic.
That may stick, you know. Paper towels and a stack of napkins may stick around longer than the pandemic because I think
Yeah.
people got used to it, along with washing your hands.
Oh, God, yeah.
more than once.
The bottle there.
The masks. I hope the masks go away. I think we've all had enough of the
yeah,
masks.
that's tough.
Yeah.
The masks are tough. I can't even breathe with the damn things on.
I know it's been tough.
They're very difficult to breathe with. So what time do you get up in the morning?
Well, I
You said
usually
you used to-
about 5:15 now. We used to be 4:30.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
it's a little
because you
later
don't have to
because I'm
drive.
at home.
You don't have to drive
Yeah.
back.
No, I'm up all day. Take a nice nap in the middle and then go in and do
So
the 6
normally
o'clock
this
news
is your
at
nap
night.
time, right?
I made this especially for you.
Seriously,
I'm
this
staying
is
up.
normally a nap
Well, when you
time?
emailed me that you've been on the air 30 years, that you're celebrating your 30th
May
anniversary,
29th.
I had to make sure I made time to come here and congratulate you on a great run.
A great run.
You know, in broadcasting, if you get 30 days, that's considered a success. 30 months, 30 years is good.
30 years is
How many
good.
different studios, by the way?
Only 2.
Because I've done you in 2 or 3
No,
studios.
well,
no?
no, you've done me. Well, we did a thing on location.
Right.
We've done a couple on locations, like at Cello's
Yeah.
on the waterfront, and I've done the Warwick Mall. I did shows down there. Did several shows down there, and
Right.
plus the Toys for Tots every year at the Warwick Mall.
That's right.
I did that for 24 years.
right.
And but we've been most of it, for the most part, we're in Pawtucket, over near against the Park Drive.
Now, you've had everybody on. You've
Just
had
about.
all the governors have come on, I think.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the senators, you've had everybody on.
Yeah.
Anybody who's in broadcasting has all been on with you.
Normally, I for the most part, I've stayed away from politics, but as it turns out, you end up having politicians on.
Yeah. Well, they're celebrities.
Yeah,
in
they
their
are
own
in their
right
own
here.
right. And as it's no secret that governor I used to work for when he was the lieutenant.
When he was
governor.
lieutenant governor, you were on
Yeah.
his staff. Is he
Yeah.
coming on?
I think he'll come on if I ask him. Yeah,
Well, I'm sure you'll get them all on.
yeah.
I mean, they have to do your show if they want to be,
Well,
a regular Rhode Islander. You got to do Bob.
Well, listen, we got to send them on. I got to let them let us get us out of here. I'm glad I got you to come on, though.
Well, listen, congratulations. 30 years, a big run. Good for you.
Thank you, thank you. Take us out of here, guys. Jesse, Liam.
Yeah, check out jesseliam.com.
Yep.
We always follow in your steps in another way with collecting toys. We're going to be starting our Christmas tour and collecting toys wherever we sing this December. So check out all the dates on jesseliam.com, and that's JESSELIAM.com. What do you want to hear as we leave? La Bamba. All right, just for you, Gene. Jesse, remember we used to go by Jesse Jackson? Get it?
Jackson. Hey, La Bamba!
Let me see you dancing out there. Ba-da-ba-la-la-bamba. Ba-da-ba-la
necesito un poco de gracia, un poco de gracia para mí, para ti. Arriba, 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 por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy más dinero, yo no soy más dinero, soy capitán, capitán. La la bamba, la la bamba, la la bamba, ba-da-da-dum. Para bailar la bamba, sing everybody. Para bailar la bamba, se necesita un poco de gracia, un poco de gracia para mí, para ti. Arriba, arriba, take it away, Dan. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba, se necesita un poco de gracia, un poco de gracia para mí, para ti. Arriba, 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 por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.